So that's the change to my diet. I'm having a couple of those as well. I'll show you. I'm going to review The Day of the Jackal, Season 1, and Irish Blood, and this is also Season 1. But yeah, I'll show you. I've filled this container up to that ring, and I made note of it and filled this up to basically the top of the paper, because I don't want to measure more than once. So this smoothie, I'll show you what I did today. So I went to Bulk Barn and I got this information for the hulled hemp and this one for the pumpkin seeds. And then I came back and I figured out, okay, well, if I want 20 grams of protein, I'm going to need 60 grams of product, and that'll give me 0 net carb, no matter what gram. Anyway, and that gives me 360 calories of this much of the hemp. And if I want to eat this much of the pumpkin seeds, then it'll be twice that much that I figured out there. But this smoothie, 60 grams hemp hearts, there's the information on that. 2 cups of almond milk, 1 scoop of spirulina. So all in all, I guess I didn't figure out the calories, but there's quite a lot of calories in this thing here. But like James says, he doesn't think I need to worry about it right now. I'm burning it. So 360 calories just for those hemp hearts. 70 calories for 2 cups of almond milk, the unsweetened. I'll bring it. Well, I don't need to show you, do it? I guess it's right there. I just finished off a container. So, this is what I used to use years ago when I was dieting, because it's no sugar, there's a lot of nutrients in it, but there's 1 gram of carb for 1 cup. So it's pretty handy diet companion. So maybe that should be my diet tip of the day, I don't know. But yeah, so all in all, this, I took already a little bit of sips, but that's 25 grams of protein in this. For 380 plus 70 is 450, is that right? Calories. And there's a lot of saturated fat in that amount of hemp seeds, I think. I forgot to write the saturated fat down when I was at Bulk Barn, so I don't know. And there's hardly any net carbs. So there, in all of this, that's three net carbs. So that's pretty impressive. Now, I am a little bit concerned because I have chosen to eat 2 of the, it doesn't look like much here, and it's not really, but there's sunflower seeds in here and walnuts and eggs, egg whites, and lots of things. If you looked at when we talked about it, it's the ham and cheese on rye with no ham, no rye, no cheese. But the reason I'm concerned about eating this with this is because this product, the Spirulina, said not to eat, not to take any vitamins or whatever that has B12 in it or anything, because it has so much B12 in it. And I think nutritional yeast also has B12. So, and that's what I used to make a cheesy flavor in this. So we'll see how that goes. So I don't know. I think it's worth it to measure out, like if you're going to use something repeatedly like this, well, this jar is perfect. That one's not as perfect, but this jar is perfect. And I have the information written on in permanent marker now onto here, and then I know, well, I don't need to measure it every time. I just need to scoop it out of the bag with this, and then I know, oh, that's about 20 grams of protein, so that works out really nicely. I have to say, this tastes really delicious, which I didn't think it would because spirulina, but this spirulina product tastes good. yum. Anyway, I guess we'll talk about. Do you want to talk about Irish Blood first, or Day of the Jackal first? I put this one on top of Irish Blood.
Let's talk about Irish Blood.
Okay, James will talk about Irish Blood. So I will say that there's one thing that I really liked about Irish Blood. Oh, there's a couple. I love the scenery. Looking at Irish scenery, wow.
Yeah, very good.
But the main thing that I really liked is they didn't do this big long opening sequence for every time they started a new show. I can't stand that. It's been, how many years has it been since people have realized that the attention span of people surfing the internet or whatever, they're looking for something, it is not long. It's a few seconds, if that. And it just keeps getting shorter and shorter. People don't want to spend time not getting what they want. They want what they want, and they want it now, instantly. And
I think a lot of the internet is intended to give people what they think they want, just on an instant thing. Like, what was I looking at recently? The sports or whatever. A little bit of hockey, I guess I was looking at. I run out of one thing that I've looked up, and all of a sudden there are a bunch of babes, like about 3 babes in a row, glaring at me in the eye, and
yeah,
kind of tempting, I guess. I didn't succumb to any temptation, flash on big screen or whatever, but that's it's what people aren't necessarily setting out to look up, but yeah. Anyway.
So that was good. With Irish Blood, they just had Irish Blood, a blood drip, and that's as long as that sequence went on for. It didn't always have the same music, which I thought was fine too. That was really smart.
So you're mentioning the good things about it.
Yeah.
The
You go
bottom
ahead
of
and
your
talk
list,
about it.
right?
Well, it was the bottom of both of ours. Like, James was sitting there going, this is not only bad, it's boring. The acting's bad, and da 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 da.
It's awful. Now I suppose they've got some African Irish people, not black Irish, but so it looks as though he was the big tall black guy. He's kind of like second in. Well, he's one of the 4 people that are like supporting actors to this woman here. Big tall guy. Is he the love interest or something like that?
He might be.
Like,
He might turn out to be. I mean, she's
I
a tough
don't
nut
think-
to crack that way.
yeah. I don't think the Irish people owe anything to black people. Like maybe they had some slaves, but guess what? The Irish didn't have colonies. They were a colony of England itself. They don't owe anything to black people. Now there are some. You'll notice some black people playing football in the United States, and they'll have an Irish name. And there's a fair number of them. But that's not the Irish people that stayed in Ireland. Now maybe some people came back after making a huge fortune off of a black slave. And this isn't even a BBC production.
Well, one thing that I'll
Stop with the racism, with overrepresenting people who, Canadians here in Canada, they owe a debt to the Indigenous people. They don't really owe a debt to people who were maybe forced to the descendants of people who were forced to sit in separate sections out in theaters and stuff like that. But that's just for the descendants. They don't owe anything to people. That's what Canada didn't have any colonies. They did their imperializing. And it was the Brits up until 1867. They did their imperializing here on the continent. We'll get that straight. I don't know why we're sitting right now in Black History Month in Canada. We just don't have a history with blacks.
No, it's just, I think Canadians wanted to kind of copy the United States with that or something.
Did they even have a Black History Month?
But I think they wanted to think, oh, well, we're sort of like the United States or whatever. I mean, really what you can say about Black History Month is Canada was a haven for
people. It was the end of the Underground Railroad.
Yeah.
No, I don't think the blacks got treated very nicely here. But
so Black History Month in Canada, it should be recognizing
a celebration.
Exactly, celebration of how awesome we were for our times. Canadian ancestors.
For the times.
Yeah.
It's taking stuff out of context and injecting values back then. Stupid. Absolutely stupid. You know, what's next? Are we going to have Ukrainian History Month? Because the tradition has been way more Ukrainians in Canada. Have they done well here? You know, they used to be called Utes, and they weren't. Are they going to have Irish History Month? I'm part Irish. I don't want that, but Irish were called Mix, and they were looked down.
But yeah, I found it interesting that, I mean, I picked these two up at the same time, roughly, from the library, watched them back to back. And in this one, there were two people, James noticed that their names mean white. There was Fiona and...
I think it means Finn.
What was the other one?
Finn. I think they both mean white.
Oh, and Finn. Okay. So that was interesting. And then this one, they're major people in this. This one, this woman here was named Bianca, which also means white. And the only thing really, I mean, she had very white eyes, very, very white teeth. You know, how a lot of people get that, the artificially whitened teeth, so they... Yeah. Like, she could go into a nightclub and
in the total dark.
Yeah, she could go into a nightclub and they usually have those black lights. She could do an impression of the Cheshire Cat. Like,
she didn't do much smiling though.
Well, she did sometimes.
Did she? Okay.
Yeah, most of the time she was pretty serious because it's a pretty serious thing. She's a police, she's with the MI5 in this. Both these are fictional things.
Military intelligence.
And she's chasing after this assassin.
Yeah, so I don't know where they got this title from. Yeah. I don't think the Day of the Jackal was, I think, maybe it was a novelization or something like that. Well, I'll have to check out and see what it is.
It says it was a novel based on Frederick Forsyth's acclaimed novel, The Day of the Jackal. That's what it says on the back.
Okay. It dates from way back when, the early 60s.
It was entertaining. And like Irish Blood, I should have liked it more than this one, I think. I mean, I do like watching the...
scenery.
Whatever. The scenery in this one was great, too. It was still a lot of Spain, the Spanish coast and stuff like that. Well, a lot of different places. But...
Afghanistan.
Yeah. But this one, I should have liked it more because it's a mystery. You're following this woman's trying to, she has this suitcase that she's inherited from her father that's everything in the suitcase is like the key to a mystery sort of thing, right? And so I should have liked this more, but the acting just wasn't up to snuff, whereas this one was better that way. Now, there were some things in this one where I'm like, okay, why in the world would he do that? Or why would anyone do this? Or whatever, like, and there's sometimes where this MI5 woman, he takes his gun with him, and she was talking about a gun like that, he would never leave it behind, so he must have taken it with him. And then later on, he leaves a gun behind, and it's just as great a gun. So why, there's some jumps in there that she makes that you're supposed to think, oh, well. So
he's doing one hit, and he finally succeeds, doesn't he? And it's for $100 million. Guns don't cost $100 million.
Yeah, eventually.
They leave whatever behind.
Yeah, so there's some jumps in there that she makes, and some things. How does she figure? Why is she always the one figuring this out, or whatever? And
never shows how she figures things out. Well, maybe
no,
it's just
not really.
Wow, I've got this fantastic idea. Why? Because I'm a person of color.
But
she's got a white flunky just falling around on her heels like a lovesick lapdog or whatever. Really stupid.
But there's some things where, like James said, he almost wants to root for this Jackal, he's not a good guy. He's an assassin. He's going after people, but and sometimes they're nice people get killed, like the gay man that he used so that he'd have access to get into a place where he wanted to do it. Yeah. And that guy was very nice, and he shouldn't have died. And so there's some people that he ends up killing that it shouldn't have happened. It doesn't sit well with me. And it's not necessary. Yeah, so that's it, just to make him look bad, to make him look worse than he I mean, you don't need to. He's already an assassin. But I guess anyway, his main target, you're supposed to think this guy is a really great guy. He wants to set up the river. The river will be flowing.
The river.
And
it sounds like a radio station. Fact is, it was.
Yeah, I think it still is. But anyway,
maybe even
he wants to set up this river so that there will be total transparency into personal bank accounts of very wealthy people, so anybody can look into it. And it's like, what? That's a good thing? And so he's talking to one of his the board members. He's a really wealthy guy, so he's like, I have nothing to hide, so I want to set up this river thing so that everybody can see everyone's. So and I do believe in transparency of government. I think that people should know where their taxes are going. And
good luck with that. See what it's like with the library here. They're into hiding things.
And I think that there should be total transparency with not-for-profit organizations. But how could you even begin to have total transparency with them? There's so much funding into little containers and whatever. How could you? I don't know.
Well, theoretically, that's the way it happens. Like, I've been skeptical about crowdfunding, computer funding for a long time when it comes to contenders for Democratic national presidential elections, or the American president. What happens is there are a bunch of rich people. Republicans have got way more funding traditionally. It goes back to, I think, 72 or something like that, than the Democrats. So that's over 50 years. And so the slime bucket business guys, and that's the majority of business guys in the United States, are going along, well, I can't buy much more influence with whatever scumbag, Dick Cheney or whatever. So what I'll do is, well, we're talking about presidential elections, scumbag Bush Jr. It could be Trump or whatever. He's a major league scumbag. I don't like slandering scumbags. Donald Trump. But it just shows you like this stuff. That's good.
It was good.
So, just truth in advertising. Anyway, so what they do is they go, well, like, we're not really interested in buying influence in the Democratic Party. They don't represent our interests, which are not national interests. They're their own greedy interests. So they'll say, well, which Democratic potential presidential candidate would be least likely to win? Oh, so way back when, 2008, leading up to Obama. So they're going, wow, Obama's getting all this funding. These are all the left-wingers. But there must be a huge amount of support for Obama, because it's all little things that rich people are putting here, putting there, in little tin cups or whatever. But it's rich people. They wanted Obama, and Obama would have got his hindquarters handed to him if it hadn't been for the 2008 economic fallout.
And yes, you would see that if people's personal bank accounts were open to view or whatever, but it wouldn't be right. And you could still see it if you had the other side transparent. So,
well, election contributions should be open.
Yeah.
But,
and that would be okay.
It's a slightly different issue than what's being talked about in this river. Everything's wide open.
Yeah, which would not be a good thing. No. It's not right.
The rich people would be using it to spy on the not so rich people.
Or whatever.
It wouldn't work for them. Like, what guarantee do you have that this stupid idea would work?
Yeah. So anyway, it's a dumb idea. And the guy is presented as a really great guy. He's talking to his board member, one of the members of the board, his board, and he says, well, so be it. If me and you and all the other wealthy people have to give up their yachts and their private jets so that young people have a better chance at a better future or whatever. And it's like, what young people? What young people? Because it's not going to be all of them. Like James was saying, people confuse wealth with income. And a lot of the time, the people who have a lot of wealth, they don't, their income might not be really, really high. It's just they have all this wealth, so they're able to hang on to more or whatever, right?
Even if they've got a huge income. Let's think about it. Like some of these billionaires someone might make $1 billion a year. Well, let's say someone's making $300 million a year. And there are only so many of these billionaires. 300 million is a huge amount of money. So it makes 300 million bucks a year. And, okay, all that is taken away and distributed to the people of the United States. You know how many, how much that would change the income for everyone in the United States, each individual?
Not
$1.
Much.
Here's your $1 from guy losing all of his income.
So the whole premise of the show, this guy's idea, is that, oh yeah, if the wealth is redistributed properly or whatever, so that there will be more for the poor people or whatever for young people. Well, there wouldn't be. It would not matter. It'd be a drop in the bucket. And even if there was a little bit more, well, there's still going to be more people being produced. And which people? There's, in Europe, like they started out in Germany in this. Well, the birth rate for Germany has been going down, down. They're not even replacing their own population.
And folks, that's the way it should be for every place in the world. Yeah, go ahead.
So then the young people that you would be redistributing wealth to, if they're German people, if they happen to be the wealthy people, well then the wealth is not going to German young people. I don't know. Anyway, it's a stupid
I
movie.
do know. I know what's happening. 7 million people have come into Canada in the last 10 years or so. Well, that's a huge segment of the population. I think it's roughly like a 20% increase. What? You know, like, and people are going along. We got an energy crisis. We got a housing crisis. We've got a or a water crisis out here in Western Canada. We got an unemployment crisis. We've got an inflation crisis. We don't have it. We shouldn't have an unemployment crisis because everyone's saying we need people coming in from elsewhere to take care of old white folks here. We got a 6-7% unemployment rate. We don't need people coming from elsewhere. What's happening is we are not spreading the wealth around. It makes no difference. It's a drop in the bucket, but we are spreading poverty around. In Canada, into Canada, in a serious kind of way.
So anyway, Day of the Jackal.
Yeah.
There are a lot of parts in the show where I go, okay, he tells his Irish gunmaker friend, it looks like the MI5, you have visitors, they're coming to get you, clean up everything and get out, or make sure you clean up everything. Well, you know that MI5's coming in, your place is found, why doesn't he just blow the place up? You gotta let it go. And anybody would. Anybody.
We're under a duress. And he's got a huge amount of money coming in, so what?
Well, he has skills. He knows how to make guns. He can start again. Yeah, there was a lot in there that he had, but he had to let it go. So whether he gets out or not, he's got to blow it up, but he doesn't. So there's a lot of things in that show that it's like, this wouldn't happen that way.
Yeah,
why would this happen? Or with him hiding in the concert hall. It's like they would check anywhere that a person could fit.
Could crawl
they
into.
Would be
It's
checking.
a little kind of like crawl space in an elevated area.
Yeah.
They've got this river guy behind a shielded plastic thing, and they're saying, don't move away from the plastic because it doesn't, like put him in a bubble.
Whatever, yeah, exactly.
And of course it's open to the top. That's why the guy gets in there.
Yeah, he could be raised through the floor into a bubble.
He could be off to the side.
It doesn't matter, right? It's just dumb.
Yeah.
So anyway, 1 minute to talk about whatever you want.
So there was a bad guy in this yellow rimmed glasses, old guy. Of course, he's a bad guy because he's balding, he's old, and he's white, and he's moaning about the Russians, saying they never change. Guess what? Sometimes bad guys tell the truth. Donald Trump believes in vitamin D, and that guy's telling the truth. You Russians out there, I've run across exceptions. The vast majority, you've been supporting terrorism. This goes back to 1917. Then you had the mafia running around the world in the period, 9-year period where you supposedly had a democracy.
I also wanted to mention, I hope I have time, that the police, when she's told, back off from the case and whatever, you've already killed too many people, like basically, chasing this jackal. Well, should the police